now called to order. So I'm Molly Wood, I'm your moderator for today, and we have Pro, Cadence, Neenan, and Cahn, Cahn, resolved that college is a worthwhile investment. So may I please have a timekeeper for this debate? Will anyone volunteer as a timekeeper? Yes. All right, are you aware of all the signals? Yes? All right. And assuming that our speakers also know the symbols. Yeah. So we are first going to have our affirmative speech. So Cadence Neenan is now recognized for a 6-minute affirmative opening speech. You ready? Okay.
Hello, my name is Cadence Neenan. I'm from Staples High School, and I'm here to tell you why I believe that college is truly a worthwhile investment. This debate is all about how you define worthwhile. The obvious way to do this would be to look at it in a materialistic way. Looking at this lens, I could rattle off some very impressive statistics for you that I'm sure would convince you that my side is correct. For example, I could tell you that college graduates make roughly $500,000 more throughout their lifetime. Or I could point to a study that says that by 2018, roughly 63% of jobs will require a college degree. Or I could educate you on the poverty rate disparity. In 2008, the poverty rate for college-educated students was 4%, whereas students that had only graduated from high school, the poverty rate was a looming 12%. But this idea that we are defined by numbers, by percentiles, that we are simply a number on a sheet of paper is an ignorant, archaic one. My fellow statesmen, I urge you to look through a different lens, a lens that looks at students as a whole, a lens that sees college students as more than an income figure. College is a worthwhile investment in how it molds you as a person. College provides experiences that simply aren't available elsewhere. For example, you meet people of different backgrounds, different geographic locations, different income brackets. You can meet people that you would never have met in any other setting, people who have lives entirely different from yours and can educate you about other parts of the country that you have never learned about before. You can meet people, you can make friends, for example. You can go to college and you can party with all the homies. You've all seen Animal House, I think that's the name of the movie, but you see that they have fun, they go out and they live their lives. This is the time when we are teens and we are young and we are ready to have fun, to go out and meet people and make friends and have experiences that you can't have anywhere else. You can meet a significant other. Many do meet their significant other in college. My parents met in college, and from this, my mother received the best gift she has ever gotten. Her divorce settlement. Maybe you can receive a sense of achievement. If you're the first member of your family to graduate from college, you have this sense of achievement that you have done something that truly matters, that you have really made a difference, that you have achieved something that you could not have otherwise. You are the beginning of a new era for your family. Maybe your family is of illegal immigrants and you are the first member of your family to attend college and thus will be at a better position to receive a job. Do you not believe that this is worthwhile for this person? You can learn work ethic and skills that you wouldn't learn in other places. A big part of college is dealing with stress. For finals week, you're loaded up with 120 pages of notes. You're studying for 3 tests. You have 2 group projects and a 15-page paper, all due tomorrow. Where else are you going to receive this kind of stress and learn how to deal with it, how to allocate time, how to work on your work ethic to be sure that you can complete all of your work? There is no other place that you are going to learn these kinds of skills. You can receive internships at places that you might not otherwise. The locations of colleges are frequently in high places that are not rural, they're urban. You can go work for a different government. You can work for a nonprofit organization. You can find an internship that will prepare you better for later life and will prepare you better for finding a job. These experiences are only available to students who attend college. And if you think that you can get them from simply going out and trying to find a job, you're not going to receive these same benefits. I'm sure that my opponent will claim that by affirming this resolution, I'm making a blatant statement. That I'm saying that every single student must attend college, that's a prerequisite for life. But I'm not claiming this whatsoever. I'm claiming that not every person should go to college, but if you are willing to invest in college, if you are willing to put in your time and your effort and perhaps your money, then college will be worthwhile for you. If you are the person who decides to go to college because they believe that it is best suited for them, then college will be a good investment for you. It will be worthwhile. And this is why I urge you to vote in affirmation of the resolution resolved that college is a worthwhile investment. And I yield my time to questions.
Permission to ask a two-part question.
Permission.
Does the speaker believe that college makes you smarter?
I would say that.
And would the speakers then agree that these students, these same students would be less smart? And excuse me, would the speaker agree that these students that eventually go to these top schools will not be successful and not attend college?
I do believe that you could say that because you learn skills in these top colleges that you're not going to find anywhere else. It's not necessarily raising IQ points. I'm not going to claim that college is going to bump you up 20 IQ points because that's simply not plausible. But you will learn skills and study things that will help you in later life, that will help you perform better in the job circuit and will help you improve your possibilities of success in later life.
Yes.
Is the speaker aware that some students come out of college with crushing debt that inhibits them from the future that you claim that they're capable of realizing?
I do recognize this. I agree that student debt is rising every year, and it's getting to be a point that's really ridiculous. But I do believe that the experiences that you will receive in college, that these sometimes balance out, and eventually, hopefully, you will find something that will improve your life, an experience that will make your life better, a job that will hopefully help you. There are some students who will be forcing debt, and that's just a problem that we have in America today that we definitely need to work to fix.
Yes.
Would the speaker agree that although the debts are very high, usually the students are able to return the investment?
I would agree with that statement.
The speaker previously stated that there's no other place that a person would have to undergo such stress. So why would it be necessary to experience that in college if they won't have it everywhere?
That's a great question. What I'm trying to say is that experiencing stress and surviving through it, but it provides you a platform to grow from. You learn from your mistakes. You learn from the places where maybe you didn't study at first. Maybe you didn't work as hard on your paper as you should have. These are the stresses that teach us later, so that if you stress out in college and you learn how to deal with the stress and you learn how to perform from that level of anxiety, then when you get to the workforce and you are loaded up with a million tasks to do from your boss, you know how to handle it. You know how to remain calm in such a situation. You know how to delegate your time to be sure that you can complete all of your work.
Yes.
Does the speaker think that entering a trade school and becoming a plumber or electrician or something of the sort, opposed to attending a college and becoming a businessman or something like that, may not, in the end, leave you with a net gain monetarily?
I would agree with that statement.
Yeah. Is the speaker aware that many students out of college are out of work?
Can you repeat it? I just didn't hear you.
Oh, that many students in college when they come out are out of work.
I would agree that at this current point that's true, but I did, in my main speech, there's a study that says that by 2018, 63% of jobs will require a college degree, and in this case, students who attend college will be more apt to receive a job once they graduate.
Time has elapsed. Thank you. And we will now entertain a 6-minute. We will now entertain a 6-minute speech for Cahn.
Who's the timekeeper? Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm here to talk to you. First, I'll address the issues that my opponent brought up, and then I'm here to talk to you about economics, knowledge, sex, drugs, and alcohol. So let's start with economics. The only benefit my opponent is getting is that she tells you that, well, according to the Chronicle of Higher Education, a college education is worth $279,000 over a lifetime. My opponent gives you the $500,000 statistic, I'll accept it. It doesn't make a difference. Because when it comes to economics, according to the New York Post, if you invested your college tuition into the stock market, you'd make $1.3 million based on your tuition. So in fact, going to college is worthless. You'd make more than 3 times that if you're taking the 300,000 number, or 4 times that just by investing your money in the market, because the college is actually not giving you a lot of skills. The reality is that smart students go to college. That's why they make more money. So if smart students didn't go to college, they'd still be smart. They'd still be making more money. It's a correlation, not a causation. But second, on economics, we see that when you go to college, you lose 4 to 6 years of income. Remember that if you weren't in college, you'd be getting a job, you'd be making more money. Third, on the issue of debt, an average college student earns $24,000 in debt, according to Tamara Lewin of the New York Times. This is bad for a few reasons. First, according to the Chronicle of Higher Education, quote, college graduates, instead of buying cars, buying houses, getting married, having children, are running home. The reason is because the speaker here who asked the question is actually incorrect. 50% of college graduates default on their college debt. They don't ever pay it back. The average student who does pay their debt back pays it back by the age of 33. Their credit is ruined, they can't buy houses, they can't take out loans. So when it comes to the issue of economics, the reason why your college education is not a worthwhile investment is because you're simply gaining this $300,000 benefit, and the cost is $1.3 million if you were to invest that tuition. You're losing 4 to 6 years of income, and you're getting $24,000 in average college debt, which can't be paid back. So in a cost-benefit analysis, a college is not worth it because, again, smart students go to college. If they didn't go to college, they'd still be smart. They'd still be making more money. Second, on knowledge, right? We have this idea that, like, oh, college makes you smarter. But does it really make you smarter? According to Complete College, 50% of college students don't graduate. And according to a book called Academically Adrift, 75% of college graduates gain no improved critical thinking skills. So if 75% of college students aren't getting any critical thinking skills, we're seeing that college is simply this social environment, which is my next point, where there's a lot of sex, drugs, and alcohol, and that's my next point. So let's start with sex, okay? 25% of college women are raped, right? So my opponent gives you this idea of, you're gonna meet your significant other, but 1/4 of college women are raped, 67% sexual assault and sexual harassment. 1 in 7 women on a college campus is gang rape. I hope you guys know what that means, it's pretty disgusting. 55% of these rapes occur in fraternities. Only 3% of college rapists ever serve time. 63% of colleges have been found in non-compliance with sexual assault rules, i.e., 63% of colleges in this country violate women's rights and do not protect them from sexual assault. And yet, in the history of this country, only 1 college has ever been held in non-compliance with this law. And that's the reason I chose to do this main speech today, is about the issue of rape, not the issue of money or the issue of knowledge. Because rape, according to the Supreme Court, is the second worst state a person can be in, second to only death. Rape leads to dehumanization of the American people, and it leads to a patriarchal society that is emphasized on college campuses. We have these male college professors who dominate the stage and tell women and men what to think. And I have a big problem with this, and this is the biggest argument in today's debate, that I'm not okay with the fact that colleges are a place where simply men go and commit rape. Let's move on to the second issue, which is depression, right? So my opponent brings this issue up of stress. But what does the stress actually cause? 67% of college students reported that they were so depressed it was difficult to function. Now let me give you a comparative analysis. 18 to 24-year-olds who aren't in college, only 27% reported the same thing. Let me repeat that. If you're in college, 67%, so depressed it's difficult to function. If you're not in college, 27%. I think that's a big issue again. 55% of college students have suicidal thoughts and 18% have seriously considered suicide. Now this is another really important point. 8% of college students have attempted suicide. 0.02% of non-college students in the same age group have attempted suicide. That means you're 800 times more likely to attempt suicide if you're in college. Let's talk about drugs. College grades are collected, according to the American Health Association National College Health Assessment. How much time do I have? According to the American Health Assessment, National College Health Assessment of 2011, college creates a collective environment in which students are on their own, away from parents, are encouraged by fellow students and peers to use illegal substances or abuse legal ones, hence increased rates of smoking, drinking, drunk driving, and unprotected sex. Quoting a University of Michigan study, peer influences have been found to be among the strongest predictors of drug use among adolescents. It can be argued that the peers initiate youth into drugs, provide drugs, model drug-using behaviors, and shape attitudes about drugs. I.e., when you go to these colleges, which are essentially incubators for drug use, people who wouldn't otherwise not use drugs are using drugs. In fact, according to ACHA survey, 37.6% of college students have smoked marijuana, 75% smoke tobacco, 85% smoke cigars, 87% use hookah, 93% smoke cigarettes. This is contrasted with an only 20% smoking rate among the same age group who aren't in college. Okay, so now let's move on to the unprotected sex. 16% of college students have unprotected sex. This is going to again contrast with a 12.6% rate of unprotected sex among non-college students. So let's take this overall now. I'm reading you statistics. Let me tell you what all these statistics mean. Now the question you're probably asking yourselves is, look Jack, you're telling us that if you go to college you're not going to learn anything, you're going to lose money, you're going to get raped, you're going to be depressed. Like, why are you going to college, Jack? And the answer is because this debate is asking us for America as a whole. Yes, I am applying to college. And the reason is because people who are going to be doctors or lawyers or professional degrees, they should go to college. They need the education. But this idea that somehow everyone should get a college education is absurd. And right, the reason why this, is that time? Okay, so the reason why this fits under this framework is because the average American should not go to college for the aforementioned reasons.
Is there a motion to move to previous question?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed?
Timekeeper ready?
I'm ready.
Hi guys. Every single one of you should go to college. Benjamin Reitman's brother, who's an electrical engineer, should go to college. Because college is awesome for people who are really, really smart and who have to, on average, more money than the average American because they're at this expensive convention. So yes, you guys should all go to college. But the average American, a taxi driver, a barber, even a paralegal or a clerk, should they go to college? The answer is no. Why? Because 75% of college students gain no significant benefit in critical thinking. Because 50% of college students drop out. They don't even get their college degree. And 25% who get their college degree don't even get a job that uses their degree. The issue here is that in America, college education has become this culture of drugs, alcohol, and sex. We have 25% of women get raped in college. We have 67% face sexual harassment. That hasn't been addressed by a single pro speaker. And the reason is, what are we going to do? Like, no one knows what to do. Men 18 to 24-year-olds are committing these crimes on campus and aren't being punished. And I think that's, again, the biggest issue in this resolution. And on the idea of economics, right? We have this idea of $500,000 it's worth. I say $300,000. Another speaker says it's worth $1 million. Who cares? Let's hit the biggest number, $1 million. College education is worth $1 million. Again, if you invest in the stock market, according to the New York Post study, it's worth $1.3 million. Again, you're making more money by just investing that massive tuition than you are by getting a college education. Second, again, you have correlation, not causation. Smart people go to college, that's why they make more money. College doesn't help them make more money. Again, remember what college is, guys. This is a place where people go and take French and, like American history and classes that aren't going to help them with careers at all. And they're getting this like broad information and they're going to parties every weekend. And that's what college education is. We've determined that on net, what we're seeing is that, remember, 50% of college students never pay back their debt. Economically, you are losing money by going to college. You're losing 4 to 6 years, $1.3 million, $25,000 average on debt. 50% never pay it back. They crush their credit earnings. In terms of knowledge, I've already said, you're not getting actual knowledge out of this. Maybe you're learning some French and some American history, but again, you're not getting critical thinking. You're not getting skills to help you in the workforce. And finally, again, on this idea of rape, drugs, sex, and alcohol, that, again, 67% of college students are so depressed they can't function. That's compared to 27% of non-college students. Remember that you're 800 times more likely to attempt suicide if you go to college. It makes sense. People are way more stressed on college campuses. And what is my advocacy? Like, what am I saying? What am I trying to explain to you? I'm trying to figure it out right here. And I mean, what I'm trying to say is that, yes, like, smart people should go to college, and like, that's a really good thing. Like, you can become a doctor or a lawyer. But like, why do we have this idea that like kids have to go to college? The average American should get these skills when they could be getting skills that relate to their job. I think this is a fundamental problem in our society that we have. Recently with Obamacare, there's a determination that a person is a child until they're 26 years old. Like, I have a problem with this. I don't think we're children at 26 years old. I don't think we're children at 21 years old. I think we need to get it on our own and either get a vocational training, get an advanced degree. We should go straight to an advanced degree, skip college, or join the workforce. And whatever you choose, your college isn't a worthwhile investment because financially it's not worth it. You're not getting any knowledge, and you're going through a culture that really hurts individuals in America. Thank you.
Entertain a 3-minute closing speech from the Affirmative.
Hi everyone, I'd like to thank all the subsequent speakers. The two most major points that the main Cahn speaker made was first, that college creates a rape culture. I agree, this is a major issue. As a raging feminist, like a Hillary Clinton loving, patriarchy smashing, I won't let guys pay for me on dates kind of feminist, I say that this is why we need to continue college education. Women attending college is empowering. It educates them on their place in society. It helps them gain a sense of achievement that they're not going to gain elsewhere. They need a college education so that they can feel fierce, powerful, and ready to take on the world. More women are going to college today than they ever have in the past, and that's why it is so necessary, so we can smash this patriarchy, take on the workforce, and show our power in society. This is the exact reason that women need to attend college, so they can gain the sense of achievement and gain confidence.